Hello, Clarice.
He does basically nothing.
A census taker once tried to test me. I ate his liver with some fava beans and a nice Chianti.
Alrighty guys, it's the Gemmy Fan here on Gemmy Master Animatronics, and this is a 2008 Gemmy Hannibal Lecter that was sold at Spirit in 2008, obviously. And I received this from a customer today. Oh, I'm sorry, yesterday. Along with the leather face, which unfortunately could not be fixed. He had a fair share amount of electrical problems, which led to the sound chip. And unfortunately, I can't do anything about it. And most people can't, because, you know, unless you have a duplicate sound chip to put in that board with extra replacement components, it's not worth the time or the money. You know, with the amount of money that you'd spend trying to get a board revived on one of those things, the life-size figures, you'll have enough money to just buy a whole new unit altogether, just buy a whole new leather face. But Hannibal, on the other hand, he'll make it out great. First thing I fixed was his head. This is just going to be a mini short video of me fixing it, and then I'll do the review afterwards, coming in the next part. But they had a split gear in the mask, which luckily wasn't damaged in any other way, and it had a split gear in the eyes, so the eyes that were masked did not move. And the more questionable part was the torso turn movement, because it wasn't doing anything. I was like, okay, there's something going on electrical. Now here's a extremely good tip for when you're going into the electronics of these life sizes. Now some of them can be fixed, some of them can't. This one can, and I'll get to that in just a second. What I use is a test motor hooked to one of the harnesses that do fit into the plugs, and what I do is that if there's components or moving pieces that do not move on the item, what I do is I unplug the original harness. Say I unplug this one, and I plug this in, which is a motor control, and I plug that in there, and then I test the item to see if it's cooperating correctly. And if I don't see any movement out of the motor, because this is a great test motor, it's a 3-volt motor, you can make this little design yourself, and you just got to put it in there, plug it right in, so you don't have to do any wiring or, you know, soldering jobs or anything. You just plug it in for a test, and if it runs, that's great. Then you know that you got a connection problem somewhere between the base and the torso. If not, then you got some problems with the components. So I mean, basically it just kind of gives you a dead giveaway of what's going on, how you need to fix it, or if you cannot fix it. In this case, I can. This harness right here is for the torso. So I plugged the torso in. I'm going to plug it in for you just to show you what's going on. Plug it in there. And when I also plug the actual unit in,
I know now that they will never ever let me out while I'm still alive.
nothing from the motor.
Closer, please. Closer.
So the torso is not doing anything. So that got me concerned as to whether or not I was going to have any extreme major electrical issues. And luckily, you see, let's see that little diode right there. Not this one, but the one up above it. I think it says R20, no, it's R30. The R30 diode is missing the other loop that connects it into there. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to replace that diode with a new one, and you have to have the right color combination. Like this one in particular is I think it's bronze, yellow, black, and brown. And I have a replacement bronze, yellow, black, and brown component right here. Let's that right there. There it is. Bronze, yellow, black, and brown component right there that I'm going to put in there, install in the board itself, and we're going to get it running again. So yeah, I'll get back to you once the component is installed, and we'll go for the first test. took just a few minutes because I had to get the remainder of the broken component out, and sometimes that can take a little while. No worries. Hopefully we can get this thing back and running in no time. Okay, so that third little component right up here replaced, you can see I got a whole new little component there. We got our test motor right here, and now for the final result. Fingers crossed that it'll work.
A census taker once tried to test me. I ate his liver with some fava beans and a nice Chianti.
And there you have it. Successful board repair. So now we got the torso back up and running.
I have a few conditions of my own. Quid pro quo, I tell you things, you tell me things. Just one more thing. Love your suit. Hello, Clarice.
Well guys, he's finally done and ready to go. Body turn movement has been fixed electronically. Usually it's a lot more issues than that, but this time it wasn't. His face mask and eyes have been fixed. Those were just simple split gears. But luckily it wasn't anything too major for this, but he is fully working. Now to be, you know, compared to being completely silent. Silence of the Lambs, but yeah. He's good to go. I really don't have much else to say about him. I wish I could have done more with that leather face. It had so many electrical problems that I wasn't able to bring it back to its original state. Because, you know, you guys know good enough to when something like this is too far gone electronically, there's not much you can do to bring it back without getting into some serious electrical work, time, and a lot of money. A lot of the times more than the item's actually worth. When you get into something that it's going to take more than the item's actually worth to fix it, that's how you know to step back. You know, don't, guys, if you ever get something like this and from eBay or something like that and it has some electrical issue and you bring it up to the electrician guy or whatever, the computer electronics guy, and he said, oh, you know, this is going to cost you way more than you expected, like $500-$600 to get a new board or get a new this, that, and the other attached to it. Just leave it there. Just leave it, resell it, and make sure you're getting one that works good, because you don't want to tie yourself into something that you can't get out of for sure. But this guy turned out great. Couldn't be happier with him. He's got all new gears, and that board problem is fixed in him now to where it was originally. So I guess we'll continue playing his phrases.
A census taker once tried to test me. I ate his liver with some fava beans and a nice Chianti. I have a few conditions of my own. Quid pro quo, I tell you things, you tell me things. Just one more thing. Love your suit. You still wake up sometimes, don't you? Wake up in the dark and hear the screaming of the lambs. I do wish we could chat longer, but I'm having an old friend for dinner. I know now that they will never ever let me out while I'm still alive. Closer, please. Closer. Well, hello, Clarice. A census taker once tried to test me. I ate his liver with some fava beans and a nice Chianti.